Hi, I'm Sahiba Khan and I'm speaking from ABP Live. We are here with Marc David, sir. He has written a book called The Ottomans, the Khans, Caesars. Here we are going to talk about his book, his session that he held at the Jaipur Literature Fest. So let's all welcome Marc. Hi, Marc.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, same here. Marc, so my very first question to you would be, what fascinates you about the Ottoman Empire?
What's fascinating is how similar they are to us, actually, how much they've inspired and engaged with European as well as Asian history. I find that interesting, how they bring East and West together.
Right. So my second question from this would be, there have been a lot of books written about the Ottomans, and especially from the perspective of a Western person or a Western historian. How do you think the history has talked about the Ottoman Empire?
Well, my book is based on Ottoman language chronicles and also Arabic and Persian and Hebrew and other Greek and other sources. So the only thing a historian can do is to read the historical sources and to see how those people imagined the world in their time. So the problem is that so many historians, East and West actually, have written false views about the Ottomans, not based on their chronicles, but based on black and white depictions of Muslims, whether they're praising them or criticizing them.
So do you think the Western historians have been a little unjustified toward the Ottomans?
Yes, but also so have the Turkish historians, because the Turkish Republic since 1923 is a secular republic that turned its back on the Ottoman Empire. So also Turkish historians have orientalized the Ottomans just as the West has.
Right. So you talk about a lot of multiculturalism and pluralism in the Ottoman Empire. Now we are here in the 21st century, in the modern age, modern world, every country is developing. Do you think somewhere that we are kind of lagging behind when we talk about multiculturalism and pluralism in different countries?
Well, unfortunately today, a lot of politicians around the world are using culture wars to pit people together, and they're presenting a false vision of their own country in which their country was homogenous. It had only one group or one religion, and they are saying negative things about the past and multiculturalism, and I think that's very unfortunate. So what my duty is as a historian is to depict the past, the good aspects and the negative aspects, but one of the positive aspects is how people were able to get along despite there being of different ethnicities and religions in some of these multicultural empires like the Ottomans.
Right. So we are seeing a cinema and new age media coming up with different magnanimous series and cartoons and different kinds of media. What impact do you think it is having on history, especially on the Ottoman history?
Well, as a historian, I like that there's all these historical dramas about the past, about the Ottomans, and these dramas like Ertuğrul, for example. They have amazing costume designs, and they get a lot of things right and help, whether they're my students or your students or the populace or your own mother, they help them imagine the past. But the problem is, of course, is that they depict things in black and white ways. So Ertuğrul, for example, depicts a world of Muslim versus Christian. That's very simplistic. But in fact, we know that in that time, Muslims and Christians were often allies and fighting on the same side. What mattered wasn't religion, but who was loyal to whom.
Right, sir. My last question would be, and here I'm going to quote something from your own book, that's the Ottomans turned away from incorporating diversity, that tolerance was replaced by ethnic cleansing. Again, I think it comes from the same question that these days we are seeing so many countries having different genocides. We saw Rwanda genocide, we are seeing other genocides as well. Do you in any way think that if a country is moving towards these kind of activities or human rights violations, they are going to destroy themselves one way or the other later?
Well, of course, when we think about the end of the Ottoman dynasty, one of the reasons not only the Ottoman dream, but the actual Ottoman Empire fell apart and dissolved and ended was the First World War, when they committed genocide against the Armenians, when they turned against their centuries of tolerance and destroyed one of their constituent people. So this choice to destroy your own citizens can lead to the end of a state or empire.
Right. This was Marc sir talking about his book, talking about the Ottoman Empire with me on ABP Live. Hope you all have liked it. Thank you. I'm Sahiba Khan from ABP Live.